Jesus walks with me. I'm just gassed, bro. What's good, everybody? Oh
God damn.
man, Fulham nil, Arsenal 3. Wonderful, wonderful, dominating performance at Craven Cottage to secure all 3 points, maintain our 5-point lead at the top of the table, and continue the race with some big names coming back and some big performances to match it. I am joined by Timo Too Good. How is you doing, my guy?
Hey, listen, we are blessed to be here as always. I appreciate Trip always having me here on Vibes. Obviously, we're back to our away games once again, and the emphasis is literally where we left off. We just got to keep winning the games, winning the important games. Fulham is not by any means an easy place to go to,
No.
as some people have, some teams have noticed this season. But Arteta's men, just know how to get it done, and we're just happy to be here, happy with the result as always.
Absolutely dominating performance from the offset. Much better start to the game, and just great to see it through. Again, really good. It could have been more. It could have been more, man. Just give us a
100%.
quick high level. Talk us through the performance of what you saw from first half, second half, 1 to 90.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to talk about the lineup to begin with, because a lot of people are worried going into this game with the element of basically being in the unknown, not knowing who's going to start, who's going to be in the squad. But it looks like we've got somewhat a full strength squad, and a lot of people are back. A lot of people are happy to see Jesus in training on Friday, and it's just great to see him, back on the pitch. But if I even have to just talk about the performance without the substitutes even being on, guys, like the game was pretty much won in the space of half an hour. I look at how the defense kind of just marshaled themselves and made such imposing tackles and defensive actions that allowed us to kind of really showcase how well we can play midfield and eventually, get the ball far forward. Unfortunately, Martinelli did not get the goal early on, but it didn't slow down from there. It seemed as if it made the team more angry to actually get the goal, and eventually from a corner set piece, Gabriel Martinelli grabs the goal. Not too long after that, Martinelli counters on a very fine piece of play from the Arsenal team. And then, as you can see, just before the halftime whistle, Leandro Trossard, who's been pivotal in pretty much all 3 with 3 assists, comes in and just, sets up Odegaard with what looked to be a very tidy and precise finish, bottom left corner. So you can't argue with that. Of course, you have said that we could have scored more, and I think this is something that, etched into our DNA. It'll take time, but eventually we will be very ruthless. But it is good to see that we're back scoring early goals and controlling games from very early once again. But yeah.
To me, this was consummate performance. To me, in my opinion, this was our best game of the season, just for how we controlled the game and how much we just nullified everything they had to do. Some wonderful performances, just some wonderful teamwork, just fluidity. This was our most pre-World Cup game since after the World Cup. This felt like
I can agree.
It did. Was it the presence of the Lord and the presence of Jesus in the team at the same time today? I don't know. It could be anything.
You know what they say, man. Through thick and thin, if God and His child are with us, and God's child was definitely on pitch today. God's child welcomed Jesus back, and it's just one of those things that when it does happen, it's a glorious day.
I'm telling you,
it may have not happened he may not have returned in 3 days, but 3 months. Hey, listen, I can't argue.
Hey, listen, that's a good timetable for me, man. We still held it in between. I can't.
At least he came back.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Let him know. Let him know,
man. Let him know.
It was definitely just a wonderful, fluid performance. Again,
100%.
Just 1 to 90. Really, there was a couple of things, a couple of chances, of course, that went against us and things that were on the ropes. But again, our defense came in clutch. Ramsdale came in clutch. Everybody that was, everybody that was called upon at 1 to 11, they stood up to the challenge. They stood up to it. Exactly. Superseded expectations. This was a really wonderful game. Fulham didn't know what to do at certain points, bro. They just lost,
literally.
Man.
They literally just were poofing the ball back up the pitch, and we're just starting another attack, or we're just looking to build a few passing patterns, and before you know it, we're in behind again. But overall, very dominant performance. I do agree with you in regards to the fact that this probably was our most dominating performance post World Cup. And it's been nice to see how, like, I guess a fully fit squad can actually have such a like a difference in terms of how we strategize early on, because it might even be a thing where, look, these same players, some of these players have already played on Thursday, and you know, they may not be up to it, but I think what Arteta's been able to get installed in this team and its DNA is that you're going to be playing 2 games every week, bro. Like you have to be ready for that. We have to condition your bodies for that, and you have to have the mindset that we're going to be winning those games. And you know, it's like I said, it's just great to see that again.
Factual. Just wonderful stuff. Just wonderful mentality from everybody, I think, and just. To a man, it was really, really special today, in my opinion. It just felt so good. It felt so carefree, man. I'm not gonna lie. Walking into this game with the unknown of the squad contention and who might be, who might not be, I was a little bit nervy, but I still wasn't unconfident. I still felt pretty confident we can come here and get a result. But again, just when you see Trossard in the game, when you see Gabriel Jesus on the bench, you're like, okay, we got a good chance to blow these men away with no problems. You know what I'm saying? And we did exactly that, bro. From a tactical standpoint, there's so much you could talk about. Saliba and Gabriel, you know what I'm saying, holding Mitrovic quiet. You know what I mean? Like a lot of great stuff we've seen from the midfield today. A lot of great just passing range and movement from Xhaka, bro. That was some of the best movement I've seen from Xhaka in game. If he could have just gotten the end of some of those chances, unreal stuff from him.
That is. We'll get into that in terms of the performance ratings and whatnot, but I can definitely detail why I feel like Xhaka really has. You've seen a different element to Xhaka today. You know, but yeah, no, definitely. Just overall, everyone did their part, did well above the expectations that we probably had for this game, considering how Craven Cottage again has been for certain teams this season. So. Yeah, no, I can't complain. I have no complaints with the performance today at all.
And people can't just say, "Oh, it's Fulham." They're like 6th or 7th in the league. You know what I'm saying? This isn't no. And to any position in the league right now, you can't go away from home and dominate teams like this. First and foremost, people are losing to Bournemouth when we scraped a win, and people was mad at us beforehand. I just want to put that up in the air. You know what I'm saying? People are losing to Bournemouth. You know what I'm saying? Going away and losing to these teams who are bottom of the league, second bottom of the league, and all stuff like that. So no game is easy. No game is given. You have to go in there and earn your right to play. And this team goes away from home and dominates sides. That is not. I don't think people understand how much of a rare occurrence that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, away from home and absolutely leave people in their own halves, outplay them, outwork them, just leave them for dead. How many teams have we done that to this season? Almost every single one away from home. When we're full strength, that's almost a guarantee this season. That's insane to say. And I'm not saying that out of overconfidence or cockiness and nothing like that. They've proven when there's a lineup there of some comparable thing of close to 90% to 100% strength, we can dominate teams. And we've done that time and time again. So you love to see it. And again, this is Arteta's 100th win. So you got to big up him for our 100 wins. Insane percentage. I got to find out the actual stat for it. You know what I'm saying? Done unreal. 3 points on the board, but let's get into these ratings real quick and breeze through them. First and foremost, I'm going to go with Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale gets an 8 for me today. Again, not much to do, but when he was called upon, a couple, wary moments, he was there and stood to a man. Punched out everything that needed to be punched out, caught everything that needed to be caught, you know what I'm saying? Came up, played, distributed the ball well. Some vital saves. Again, people need to put respect on this guy's name. 24 years old. I don't think you understand how much of a commanding presence he has at 24 years old, when the average age of like top keepers is like 29, 30, 31. You know what I'm saying? Like they get into the upper age.
He's not ranges. Even reached his prime.
He's nowhere
near his prime.
He's nowhere near his prime.
If we're looking at it from FIFA cards, he's still a baby face.
Facts.
There you go.
He's still, you know what I'm saying? If he ever got an icon card, he's still a baby icon. This is still,
there you go.
This is still initial stages, to be real. Like
literally.
Unreal when he needs to be called upon, and again just helping us immensely. Again, kickstart attacks, distribute the ball, and just be in dangerous positions and just be lively. So he gets an 8 from me today. I'll give you Ben White.
Ben White probably gets a 7 from me. I think this will feature more in regards to the rating we give Saka later on. But it seems as if that side of the pitch today, they weren't. I don't think they were attack first mentality, which I think there was probably more protection on the right hand side due to Ben White's performance. I still feel like he contributed very well in terms of positional play, in terms of helping out Saka, and especially on counterattacks where Fulham tried to play the ball in behind. He was very much ever present, just as if there are other players in defence. Didn't really put a foot wrong. First to the challenge in most circumstances, which is what we love to see from Arsenal defenders as well. So yeah, I think a 7 is probably a deserved rating for Ben White today.
Fairs. I will move on next to William Saliba. Monster performance. Both center backs have monster performances. We can get into Gabriel in a second, but William Saliba, I'm going to give an 8.5. I think he was imperial today. But again, you saw everything from him today, man. Defending, awareness, being able to distribute the ball. Some of the passes they did to kickstart attacks, unreal. 21 years old. This is not normal. This is not normal. People been saying that. There's a couple people on Twitter who I got to acknowledge. It was like what's it called? It was like half spaces. He was like, bro, this is not normal. And there was a guy who did a video. I can't remember who it was. But he was like, yo, this team is not normal. And some of these players are not normal. They're playing out of their 21 years old. And to be able to command some of the most experienced, some of the most ruthless center backs, forwards in the game as a center back. Yeah. Mitrovic damn near nullified today. Had nothing. Got onto next to nothing. And a lot of that was down to him. There was a challenge that came on the left-hand side. I think it was Andreas or somebody like that. Or I think it might have been Man of Solomon or Andreas, whoever it was. But actually, no. It was Dan James. It was Dan James who came on.
Yep.
Saliba,
and it's the level of composure he had.
He kept pace with him and slid in at the perfect time to get the ball off him and cleared that out. Unreal. And I'm not saying, and Dan James on pace alone, this guy's not Messi. I get it. But still, in how many different contexts and situations is Saliba prepared and actually does well is unreal. 8.5 for me. He's fantastic today.
I can't disagree with that one. I feel like it's definitely a question of when, as opposed to or anything. Because with him, it's
this man was scoring a banger too.
We don't know we were hearing when we first signed the kid, he's this and he's that. And, we sent him on loan. People were like, he's not going to stay with Arsenal. He hasn't signed a contract, etc. But are these performances or anything to go off of? Like, people are talking about him and Fofana being the future of the France defense. I can see it. Saliba's not somebody that, you spend that amount of money on and lose faith on because of one poor under-21s game. Like, not everybody gets it overnight or in a fortnight, but over time they will. And the sort of experience he's had this season is going to be so integral,
vital
for how he pushes on, not just from an Arsenal perspective, but for the international team.
Bro.
And he's so young. You've said it. He's 21. He is 21.
Dog, he was twisting man up in the middle of the midfield and almost pulled a banger from long range. He almost pulled a Vincent Kompany, bro. William Saucy Saliba, bro. Willow Saucy Saliba. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
No, he's too teed, man. He's actually such a good player. It's incredible to be such a good player, such a composed player at the age of 21. And you've got the world at your feet. And you've got the best manager for that sort of for that player as well in Arteta. I feel as if the way he's been able to. People always talk about the wingers and how well he's been able to get his wingers play.
But defenders.
But you've got to look at the defenders that he's got at his disposal. Yes, Ben White had been developed to an extent, and we have seen Ben White play at right back. But last season he played at centre back. This season he's playing at right back, and we haven't seen a performance drop off. If anything, we've seen an improvement in Ben White.
Facts.
I can't really talk much on Zinchenko because he's come from a very good championship winning team.
But aside he was on the outside of it at one point, bro. Yeah. He couldn't get a game. He couldn't get a game, and he steps in, not maybe a little bit unsure of himself, and he steps in and absolutely bosses this. He becomes one of the stars of this team. A leader.
That goes testament that you've got the right manager at their home to get the best out of these players. Once they buy into the idea, all of a sudden, boom, everything just looks sunshine and rainbows.
Facts.
But yeah, we need to move on to Mr. McGallish. Gabriel, I'll take that one. That one could easily be a 9. An 8.5 or a 9 today. Honestly, very rarely have I seen Gabriel put a foot wrong this season. I know there were a lot of people calling him out for being a bit too emotional in games.
Yeah.
I think that's just the home intensity, and we've seen how tough it is to essentially grind out some wins at home because of how emotion-based those wins are.
Yeah.
However, from a perspective of away games, the guy has put no foot wrong whatsoever. He's come clutch. He's come clutch in pretty much every London game we played this season. played well against Tottenham. He's played well against Palace. Played well against Chelsea, where he's got the goal as well. Like, it's very important to kind of take into consideration here that he came in and bought into the idea at the age of 24. He's just about to turn 26 now, I believe.
Yeah, 25, 26,
25, 26, and he missed out on the World Cup. Some people look at that and some people have that sort of experience and be like, you know what, like, let me just focus on my ball and see what happens. Some people cave into that sort of thing, and when they miss out, they'll think what they're doing wrong. He has taken that small L or that personal L and become such a W to not just the Arsenal team, but defenders in general, because his aggression and his passion in that defense is
unreal,
second to none. Bro, and you can see it from the moment, even just winning, like, this guy is clearing himself off of winning balls that are going out for corners that he knows he's going to defend. Like,
facts.
That's insane. That's insane to me. You have the confidence that somebody like literally, like, he's got Mitrovic in the box and he doesn't fear anything. You understand? Like, that's for me, that for me just tells me that he's just gone leaps and bounds. And obviously with the goal,
crazy confidence.
It just caps off a complete performance from him on both sides. So yeah, I think I'll bump that up to a 9. I think he's had a very good game.
I agree.
Today.
I think the goal pushed him a little bit past Saliba with that, because he was just as good defensively, bro. And it's like, literally, again, and it's the same thing with him, bro. Being able to just do everything. This guy is just, again, supporting the midfield and aerial duels, pinging the ball with diagonal balls just to again jumpstart attacks and give the wingers some life. Like, immense mentality, bro. And he's been slated all season. Oh yeah, he got a bozo gene. Da 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 da. He don't got none of that, bro. The guy's 25. The guy's literally 25, 26 years old. Like, he's like 24, 25. I gotta look up his actual age, bro. I'll come back. I'll do that while I'm talking. But yeah, like, literally, the guy has literally grown leaps and bounds ever since he came to this club. Ever since he came here, and he's not stopped growing, bro. He's 25. He's 25 right now. For center backs, they don't hit that peak till like 28, 29, to be real. For some, it might be even a little bit later if they have some longevity. But this guy's improved time and time again. He's shown you he is
a perfect partner for somebody like Saliba, which, you know, this is what I'm saying. Like,
the dynamics.
You look at the youth, you look at the dynamism and just the youth in this Arsenal team and what they're actually doing right now. Like, they stay level-headed and they really keep up with this mentality. There's nothing that this team can't do. I'll be real. There is nothing this team can't do.
Agreed.
But yes.
Agreed.
Definitely 9.0 rating. Yeah. And we're looking forward to the next set of games.
Yeah, and I'll take Zinchenko really quickly. I'm gonna give Zinchenko an 8. Like, what can you say? Like, there was nothing out of the ordinary about this, and that's a scary sight. The guy just, he's such an insane, like, profile to have in a team. It's unreal. I can't even say too much about him this game, bro, because he was just, again, doing his usual stuff, just being a threat. Just, again, even on the defensive side, he was, again, a bit more. He was just as, if not more, intense than other games that I've seen him, where he's at top performances. So
very quick to try and get the ball back here for sure.
Good stuff. Great in tandem with him and Martinelli, just pressing down things, especially when Bobby Reed tried to have some joy on that on their side.
Yeah.
Gets an 8 from me. So I'll take that and move you to Granit Xhaka. You guys, Xhaka.
Granit's probably gonna get a 7.5 from me, and I feel that he, like, and I think this is what I was trying to touch on earlier with where I felt he is now finding himself in the spaces he was finding himself in earlier on in the season, being able to kind of move the ball forward, and mind that being just not because of a fit Partey, but because of how well Trossard and Martinelli are actually working up on that left and that up top side. So I think he's probably maybe a game sooner than we would have liked in regards to how alert he is to the situations, because you obviously could see that when he got the ball, he tried to take an extra touch and instead of shooting. I feel like had this been earlier on in the season, that's a first touch shot, or he's taken a straight shot off the first touch. So, but mindful of that, like, he's found himself in very good attacking areas, and it seems as if, you know, just give it another game, I reckon he'll be back up to scratch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Besides that, you know, he does come with that element of control from the midfield and being able to find these cutting passing lanes from deep. Being able to find Trossard, Odegaard, and Martinelli earlier on in the first half were quite, you know, they were quite well placed passes, and just an overall tidy performance. Nothing crazy, no need to challenge, no need to make any rash challenges at all. But I think this is where he kind of mounts on these next 11 games will be where he's going to now prove out, cool.
Yeah,
We've gone through the rough patch of not being in the positions I'd like to find myself in, but now that I've had this game, it's going to give me a bit more confidence, and he's going to turn it up. So, yeah, man, 7.5 performance for me, nothing crazy, but he was able to kind of find himself in the areas, like I said, he's been able to find himself earlier on in the season. So yeah, that's granite for me.
I just want to throw in there, man. No red cards this season, but a certain man got 2 red cards. He's been out like
hey, we don't. You know what we don't do over here? I don't
speak on that.
What we don't even do over here is, there's certain man in the league that will say, "Oh, that is Granit Xhaka." Like, no, I think what people need to, understand is that this Granit Xhaka is different to the Granit Xhaka that signed for Arsenal.
Facts.
And we're finally seeing a side to him that contributes towards the entire 11.
This is where he was meant to be. This is where he was meant to be.
This is where he was meant to be.
It's even something Wenger was saying. Honestly, I remember a time he said Wenger was like he wanted him in an advanced 8 role, but to see it come out in full life, this is insane. So Granit Xhaka, bro. Hopefully this man can finish the story. No Cody Rhodes WWE involved, bro. For real. Moving on to Thomas Partey. I'm giving Partey an 8.5. Like, we missed him.
Nothing short of deserved.
Bro, we missed him.
Nothing short of deserved.
The only thing that's barring him from a 9 or a 9.5 is like a goal contribution, to be real.
Yeah.
But everything else was damn near perfection. I'm sorry. Everything else was just like, what do you want? That controls the tempo. To control the tempo of the game with great passes. Just can slip out. 2 defenders around him can slip in and out of defense like crazy. Easy. Just again, passing great, defensive coverage, fantastic. Man was covering right back, center back. It was moved up to a center mid cam. Like, he was everywhere. This is what you want, and just that calming presence. We feel so much more resolute, especially in defense, and just advancing and progressing the ball with him in the side. Insane. 8.5 easily. Could have been more.
Just to touch onto that as well. Like, I think it's very easy to kind of, like, in a game where you've seen other players play or like contribute quite heavily, it's very easy to kind of misplace where or how high you can give someone a rating for their performance. But I think when you look at Partey, a lot of the stuff that he does can sometimes slip under the radar. That's not to say he's underrated, but I honestly think if you look at how pivotal his style of play and what he brings to this Arsenal team, especially in a game like this where like your games can be won and lost in midfield, it's important to highlight not just what he's able to do going forward and essentially how well the flary players in the team are able to counter off of his ability to do so. But defensively, it may not even look like he's had to do that much work because of Saliba and Gabriel or because of the Ben Whites and the Zinchenkos, but always has the ball and always looks to just engineer an attacking presence. He doesn't have to run with the ball in order to do it, but you see him run with the ball. If we've lost the ball, he's the first person to try and track back and get the ball. If Odegaard or Fabio Vieira or even a Trossard can't break a passing lane, he'll do it for them. You understand that? I think it's a thing where you're now seeing a player that is so complete in midfield. It's scary that you now have to start looking at an understudy who can learn whilst we have him at the club, because it's pivotal. Yeah, it's very pivotal that someone of his caliber you're not going to find in world football for maybe another 3 or 4 seasons. You have to like you gotta find somebody you can mold to really like bring in. And I got a few names in my head that we could possibly bring in, but I'm not 100%. I'm not a professional. Yeah, But we have the eye. That's the right idea. But I just to touch on that, I just think it's a thing where if you're gonna be able to give somebody like Partey at 8.5, you now have that element of assurance and positivity. Yes. And just going forward, you have a mentality confidence. Where like, cool, the players going forward are gonna have a field day every weekend because like Partey is on his A game. You get it? So it's just really good to have a midfielder like that at the club. 8.5, definitely nothing short of deserved for him.
100%. And moving on to you real quick from Martin Odegaard.
All right, Martin. Normally, and I think over the last couple of weeks now, I've actually given Martin quite lackluster. I wouldn't even say lackluster. I feel like it's just been average performances. Yeah. Today we saw a confident Martin Odegaard. And that I guess that oozes from the rest. I guess how the other team players are playing, and obviously the way he's been able to receive the ball and attack the edge of the box, inside and outside of the penalty box, but also carrying the ball forward. I think what we've been able to see today is an element of freedom, the ability to kind of pick passes that we know he can, and ultimately just having the element of being in the right place at the right time. As you can see with his goal, and we'll touch on to Trossard's performance later on, but it's composure. The one thing that he's been able to give that final third is a high level of composure in which somebody only needs to take 1 or 2 touches and it's in the back of the net. And for him, he receives the ball off quite a hard pass that necessarily control, shifts it onto his favoured left foot, and he just put it in the bottom corner, which is what we want from him. Another player now, I think it's the 3rd player now that's now on 10 plus goals for the season. And Arteta's obviously spoken about not necessarily having a number 9 that's going to bag you 30 or 40 goals per season, Haaland. But it's good to have a sense of players where you're able to contribute both sides. You're able to contribute from an assist side, man. But if you look at the, 15 goals, and 15, I think it's 15 plus goals and assist contributions towards Arsenal this season, and that's across the front 3. So if we're able to even get that from that perspective, out of a Martin Odegaard, who's essentially even a 10 or even an 8 for us, then
this is
absolutely great. I think I give Odegaard an 8. Didn't really do anything to the point where he needs to get anything more than that rating. But I feel like an 8 in a performance where you've won 3-0 and there are a lot of players that have played well today. By no means is it something to be ashamed of. I think he's played really well today. Showed glimpses of trickery. The first and second touches to try and take the ball away from defenders.
How many megs this guy had? Oh my goodness.
He's a magician, and it's a joy to see. It's just a joy to see when everyone's in full flow and seeing the sort of football that I know we can play. I like how they express themselves. One thing about football is I love a team that can express themselves and still have an identity. And he literally was the kickstart to what I feel has been that element of we now need to move on to the next level. So props to him. Definitely an 8 rating for me.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, on to the next player.
I'll move real quick, speed up the pace here to Bukayo Saka. I'll give Saka I'll give him a 7, honestly, because to be real, like he never really got out of first gear to it, and still he was given some trouble. Had some great touches, had some great runs in the box. Nothing really came off for him. But again, this is not like this wasn't a bad performance from him by any means.
It wasn't. No.
He was still, again, combining within the team, making things happen and causing trouble. Just the goals didn't come from him. And the fact that we can say that he wasn't the most prominent player and we still blew a team away is a joy. It's an absolute joy and a credit to this team, because they can all step up when one person isn't there. So again, he played 70 minutes. He played he played damn near a full 90, if not the full 90 in Sporting in Lisbon. So like there's no, again, discredit from here at all. I think he gets a solid 7. Again, came off a little bit early as well, just to make some room for some of the subs. Pretty standard, but again, Saka still did his numbers, man. Solid. And throwing it to you and Gabriel Martinelli.
I'm gonna have to give my boy Martinelli an 8.5 here. Honestly, when you're looking at how his season has gone, especially after the World Cup, where he's come off a lot of scrutiny, because at the end of the day, it's tough to kind of now continue playing the way you were playing, not just from the disappointment of obviously the World Cup, but then you've lost Jesus, who's been quite pivotal to the way that Arsenal play. But in a sense where he's been able to still pick himself up and obviously ignore all of the hate, ignore all the talk, and really just get on with his football. We've seen him, like, I think bar the opportunity to score against Sporting on Thursday, I think he had a really good game. And I feel like it's a thing where it's now a thing where he's now guaranteeing himself in certain spaces where you are effectively going to get a goal and assist. And I think that's a part of his game, which we've obviously seen him come to leaps and bounds this season. But he's still 21. He's still in a period where he's got so much room to grow. He's still, and look, if you look at the aspects of his game, he's still improving in like his dribbling. I think he's leading in take-ons and completed dribbles. Along with Saka this season. And if they're doing that this early, you can only imagine what sort of skill set their repertoire is going to have at some point later on in their future. So for me, just even based on this performance, like when running with the ball, Fulham look scared. When receiving the ball from in behind, they look scared. You know, getting to the byline and getting a ball into the box, again, look scared. You know, so I think it's one of them ones where you are guaranteed something out of Martinelli when he's in full flow. And yeah, you know, unlucky not to get the second goal. Probably needs a different type of connection with the ball in order to get it. But I still think that Leno pulls off quite a good save. But great strength and great jumping ability to get the ball. I think it's something that we've seen in Martinelli whilst he's played on that left-hand side and also up top. So just this interchange of Trossard overall since Trossard's come into the team has been very, very great to see. And it just shows that, you know, he's not a one-trick pony. You know, and I think that's something that to have at an early age can only, you know, be a huge bonus to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for that, I think Martinelli gets an 8.5.
Yeah. Solid. I think he did.
Yes, sir.
I think he did that today. Again, just like everywhere, and so much joy he got from our man of the match, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So much joy that Martinelli got from him today. Leandro Trossard with a 9.5 today, in my opinion. This guy, unreal. He was cautioned with the groin injury and stuff like that. Came back as a surprise. You know what I'm saying? Like number 30 in the Royal Rumble.
Motherfucker.
For real. This man came through like it was John Cena in the 2007, 2008 Royal Rumble and stuff. He was on smoke. He came in just unimaginable type of sauce and play, bro. This guy is an absolute gem. Ghost of Kiev, where are you, bro? They were slating us for picking up Leandro Trossard for 27 million. They were telling us, oh, he's washed just because he's 28, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. This guy's an absolute baller. Slayed City. Slayed City at Brighton. Slayed so many teams. Slayed us. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is an absolute gem. Today, hat trick of assists in the first half away from home. Nobody's ever done that before in the Premier League history. That's one thing. Two, the level of interplay. Arteta's been able to somehow supplement and create an equivalent without Jesus. It's not to the same scale as we had before, but it's in comparison. And Trossard has been so key to that. He's been the linchpin of that, allowing Martinelli to be fluid. Came to the right hand side for some attacks, enabled a lot of people to get in the space, got shot into some really favorable positions. Came deep to defend and pick up balls and to pass it around and distribute. He was everywhere today, offensively, defensively. Hit damn near every cross, found a man. Like, what more can you say about Leandro Trossard except for class? This guy is absolutely unreal. And
I remember
possibilities. Just think about the possibilities with him in the squad. And we're only building. We just now got somebody back from the subs bench we'll talk about in a second. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Leandro Trossard. What a signing. What a signing.
That's out to him. I think the other thing that people, you know, they were worried about is obviously we know he can play across the front three, and he's done well with that at Brighton under different managers. So it's a testament to the ability of the player. But coming into Arsenal, where, you know, we are in need of somebody that can really do a job, where we're missing out on the ability of Gabriel Jesus. Like you said, Arteta's done wonders to try and get him to be suitable to that role. And yes, it may not be the version 1.0 that we've had for the season, but this is a version 0.9. And it's not worse off, you know, against deep blocks.
It's marginal.
Against teams that
marginal.
Exactly.
Difference.
So I think it's one of those things where as time goes on, you'll obviously see to the full extent of what that can really be capable of. But again, it's even to the testament of even Jesus. We've only seen that to a degree this season. We don't know how far that will go either. So they're both developmental. We're both in developmental stages of that. But if we're getting 3 assists away from home from a player that's just joined the club in January, you know, there's only the sky's the limit.
Ceiling,
you know,
crazy.
So I think it's a great find. He's done exceptionally well. And honestly, like even some of the touches, the ability to just bring other players into play, the use of both feet, it gives me Santi Cazorla vibes.
Facts.
It definitely does give me Santi Cazorla vibes in regards to the sort of performance he can give you. Yeah.
Oh my
goodness. It's just the presence of, and it's scary to think people were like, oh my God, like we've just got him and he's already injured. Like that was our plan B. You get it? We've now got our plan A, plan B, and even a plan C now. We've got time to rest players.
Facts.
We've got time to get players back into the starting fold. Like, it's a great time to be an Arsenal fan. With 11 games to go, guys, we are we're almost there. You know, we're almost there. We just got to keep the faith, keep believing, and this team, that's what they need from us. That is all they need from us.
Game by game, man, week by week. That's what I said for the top of the season. I'm still going to say it now. We treat every game like a final. Week by week, we move. We don't get, too out of sorts, but we just got to believe. That's the bottom line of everything. We just got to believe. Running through some of the subs bench here. I'm going to give Kieran Tierney, Takahiro Tomiyasu, Fabio Vieira. I'm going to give them all 5s. Pretty much bog stand. They came on, did their thing. Shout out to Kieran Tierney in an inverted role, though. You know what I'm saying? Be going all the way to left wing, doing his thing. Tomiyasu came in, did the job. Fabio Vieira had a funny-ass slip that somehow got a foul at the end of the game, but still really, really good first time that he came on. Reece Nelson, I'm going to give a 6 because I felt like he was really dangerous and found a lot of good openings that just nobody got to the end of when he was in there. So I think we could have scored more, and we had a lot different looks with him on the pitch. But take a quick few seconds and let's talk about the return of Gabriel Jesus back in the squad. I gotta give him like a 6 or a 6.5 separately. You know what I'm saying? I just talk about this separately. You know what I mean?
We didn't even see a performance drop off from the moment he. I mean, how could you accept a performance drop off from the man himself? I think it's something that even the first 3 or 4 touches of the guy on the ball.
Unreal.
Fulham are like, oh no, it's gonna be one of those days. Like,
the turn.
How could you're a substitute in literally the last 15 minutes of a game when you're giving a team that are 3-0 down? That feeling that already tells you how much of an impact the guy has. Like, saw the reaction to the crowd as soon as he hopped on. Everyone just felt as if like it's Easter Sunday and he's risen from the dead once again. It's just one of those things. And honestly, just the spinning touches, the flicks, the tricks, like it just felt as if he hadn't been gone, and
didn't miss a step.
Unfortunate not to get the goal because the ball was there for him to strike. Again, it's early days. We gotta be patient with him. But
just gotta salt it back in. Ease it back in, bro. One big missed chance. I don't even care. We were 3-0. I mean, I can handle the big missed chance, bro. I don't even care. I'm just glad you back. I'm just glad I'm feeling again. I'm glad I got the sensation again, bro. But again,
literally,
it's like he never missed a step, bro. He came back everywhere, muscling people off the ball. Great touches back down from aerial balls, like just distribution, positioning. He was back 100%. It looked like he was back 100% in that little spell that we saw him, bro. Wonderful. This is going to be a fantastic boost for the run-in that we have. I really hope he gets more time on Thursday so we can blow Sporting away. To be real,
yeah, for sure.
That's gonna be great. But ref, I'll give like. I'll give him actually a positive. I'll give him like a 0.15. You can hold that positive. You somehow made it to the other side. Congratulations. Fans today, I'm gonna give an 11 out of 10. Away support, unreal. Especially at Craven Cottage, bro. You guys outsung everybody at Craven Cottage. Wonderful stuff.
Facts.
Mikel Arteta today.
But yeah, I can't lie. He's gonna have to get an 11 out of 10 from me as well. If you just look at it from the timing of the substitutions, he kind of saw that where the game was. Even after halftime, he still let the players try and push on and see if they can get a fourth if possible. And obviously with tired legs and knowing that we've got that game on Thursday and another game on Sunday again, he's got to give the right players the right sort of game time. Tomiyasu needs that element of boost and confidence as well. So great to see him on the pitch. Jesus needing that bit of match sharpness, and he looked pretty sharp to be honest with you. You've already got the likes of Fabio Vieira who will we'll probably start that game and you'll think, okay, he needs to really kick on. And, we have seen him and what the sort of ability he is able to kind of display for us in earlier parts of the season. And I think it's just a matter of, balance within the squad. Tierney will probably be happy to have seen the pitch because I'm pretty sure he'll want to start on Thursday as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are going to be definites that, we can take from that performance, but the substitutes played a part just as much as the 11 on the pitch played a part, and just as much as the fans at Craven Cottage played a part. So Super Mix getting an 11 out of 10 for me.
Yeah,
got to keep it. We just got to keep this wheel rolling, guys.
Keep it rolling, man.
Keep it good.
Keep it rolling. Let us know what you thought of the match in the comment section below. Great stuff today, man. And also, I'm pretty sure the stat is now confirmed. I think we're the first team in Premier League history to win all 5 London derbies away from home. I think that is now the case. I think that is now the case.
I'm just going to add to this, right?
In one season, by the way.
I'm just going to add to this, right?
Yeah.
People spoke about how Arsenal missed out last season, not just on Europe, but in terms of just everything.
And that would be the last time we would ever get close.
But hear me out. This is what's so crazy, right? That Newcastle loss is what changed everything. It's not about how we started this season, because we can look back at the facts.
It's how we ended
that loss away has built this Arsenal team to not want to lose away games under any circumstance.
They don't. I don't think people understand that they created a monster, bro. I don't think people really get that they created a monster.
They laughed at us, but who's laughing now?
Facts.
Who's gonna be laughing at the end of the season? And that's what I've got to say.
People really like slated us off after we somehow got close. We fought for top 4 through injury and all that stuff. We just missed out with injuries. Our main striker left. So much stuff was in disarray. Arteta was still trying to get his squad together. Didn't have even half of the signings he wanted in. And we were still pushing for top 4 and playing great football. The signs were there, but people just want to slay us because we're Arsenal. How about now? Please find something now. That's all I gotta say, bro. Week by week, we move, but you need to understand that on our day, we are one of the best sides in the world right now, bar none in the world. I don't care what anybody says, bro. How we play is insane, bro. So let us know how you felt in the comments below. But that's all we got for this video today. Timo, appreciate you for coming through. Listen, man. Don't trip. We'll catch you in the next one, man. Sir. COYG.
Let's go.